I'm Jimmy, and this is Ron. All FCCLA members should check your locker poster for work times at the home show on Saturday. Everyone wear your FCCLA shirt and non-holy pants.
FCCLA members leaving on the period retreat at Kearney meet at the back of the school at 1:15 p.m. on Sunday.
The FCCLA home show is from 9 to 2, and the chamber pancake feed is from 9 to 1 on Saturday.
The Elementary Student Council is having a penny war to raise money for care packages to send to our local troops currently serving our great country. Please bring your loose change to school. Each class has their own bucket in the elementary office. See posters for more details.
Lewis and Clark's speech at Winside will now be on Monday, March 5th.
Lewis and Clark Art Show will be at the Wayne State College Sunday, on... Okay, I messed that up. We're at the Student Center on February 23rd to February 26th, which is Friday to Monday. The art show is open for public viewing all days.
Hours will correspond with Student Center hours. Stop in and check out all the awesome art on display. The junior law cadet dates have been changed. They apologize for the inconvenience or any confusion this may have caused. The junior law cadet training session will now be a combined training session during the week of June 18th to the 21st. In addition to the change of dates, the graduation ceremony will now be held Thursday, June 21st at 7 p.m. at the State Patrol Training Center. Have a good one.
Yeah!
With Soviet World News, this is Supreme Commander Krishnov. It's Friday. Finally. In a referral to Syria bombing the odd out of eastern Ghouta, now 462 people have been killed. This is the longest news thing that I have blathered on about for about 3 days. The Turkish army struck a convoy entering Syria's Kurdish-held Afrin region, which Arkan said carried fighters and weapons, but Kurdish forces said was made up of civilians entering with food and medicine. In a statement on Friday, the Turkish military said a fleet of some 30 to 40 vehicles of the Syrian Kurdish YPG militia had approached the main town of northern Afrin region. It said artillery targeted the convoy, quote, carrying troops, weapons, and ammunition. The YPG said the convoy, which arrived in Afrin late on Thursday, had transported civilians from the Jazir region further east and other towns under the control of Kurdish forces. Burj Kaska, the YPG spokesman in Afrin, said the convoy included hundreds of people. The shelling set some cars ablaze, wounded at least 10 people, and killed 1 passenger. Quote, the convoy was headed to stand in solidarity of the people of Afrin, carrying food, aid, and medical supplies. He said, Turkey launched an assault last month on Afrin, seeking to drive out the YPG, which it deems a menace along its border. It denies hitting civilians during the offensive. Quote, as always, all attention and sensitivity was shown so that civilians were not harmed, the Turkish military said on Friday. It released aerial footage showing a series of explosions and smoke rising from the country road. President Tayyip Erdogan said on Friday that the Turkish army was making every effort to avoid harming any civilians, which was extending the duration of the operation. Defense Minister Nurettin Kachila had previously dismissed reports of harming civilians as false. Human Rights Watch said on Friday it had investigated 3 attacks in Afrin last month in which Turkish troops failed to prevent civilian casualties. The airstrike and shelling on clusters of tents, a poultry farm, and a house killed 26 civilians. Quote, it appears that vulnerable civilians are facing displacement and death because of the way Turkey's last offensive is being conducted. Say Laman Frank, deputy of Middle East director as the U.S.-based group. Shelling, shelling, shelling. When will the shelling end? Suspected Somalia pirates attacked a Singapore-flagged chemical tanker on Friday, but were repaired by guards on board, the European Union's naval force said, which is the first incident in several months. EU Navor said the statement the 50,000 metric ton MT Leopard Sun was sailing from Sohar to Oman in Cape Town, South Africa, when it was attacked by two skiffs 160 nautical miles, 295 kilometers, off the coast of Somalia. The skiffs approached from the stern and fired upon her, after which the onboard private armed security team returned fire with warning shots. EU Navor said the incident lasted about 20 minutes and the vessel and crew were safe. The attack, likely to be partially related, was the first of its kind in the area since November 2017. EU Navor said pirate attacks off Somali coast surged in years following years of relative calm. The peak year was 2011, which pirates launched 237 attacks and held hundreds of hostages, data from the Internal Maritime Bureau shows. Several foreign navies, including from the European Union and China, operate regularly in this area as part of its anti-piracy missions. This has been SCK with SWN. Hope you guys live.
Corbin here with some sports news. The Creighton Bulldogs won last night in a thriller, 35-34. The Bulldogs will play on Monday in the district final against Ponca in Randolph at 7. After being traded to the Cleveland Cavaliers, there was talk about which jersey Larry Nance Jr. was going to wear, as his father, Larry Nance Sr., had a jersey retired by the Cavaliers. With his father's permission, Larry Nance Jr. will wear number 22 for the next Cavs game. And finally, the Nets lost to the Hornets last night, with recently acquired forward Dante Cunningham leading the team in scoring in the 111-96 loss. He recorded a double-double along with 12 rebounds as well. I think Cunningham looks a lot different in Brooklyn than in New Orleans because he is allowed to play his natural position at small forward instead of playing power forward. This is due to the fact that Rondé Hollis Jefferson is still not healthy. I can only assume we will start winning games again if we can suit up more than 8 guys like we did last night.